He did manipulate me into staying with him, so I stayed. And then the following week after that, he started acting weird again. We hung out one more time after that. And that hangout, instantly, upon seeing him, the next hangout, his vibe was so off, and it was so just like, he seemed super annoyed that I was there. Like, he just like seemed like he could not fucking care less if I were like fucking alive. Of course, he was.
This is the exact moment their partner switched up on them, or whoever they was dating switched up on them. And did somebody lace your weed, or did you forget that we're back with another video? If you were just now tapping in for the first time, thank you. And hopefully by the end of the video, if you feeling me, you feeling the topic, you hit the subscribe. You've been coming here frequently, hit the subscribe. We almost do 200, but we on the road to 500. You feel me? So off the bat, I can already say this, and somebody has said this in one of my comments in another video. Men switch up after marriage. I personally wouldn't know because I never been married. I'm never gonna hold you. And I can already provide a reasoning for that, because since men are the ones who typically are the ones who ask the woman out, I'm not saying they have to be a different person, but I think it's like a hunter type thing. You feel me? Like to get your prey. I don't want to say women are prey, but to claim your prize or whatever, there's a certain energy you have to come with it. And then once you get your prize, you get comfortable. I feel like sometimes men get comfortable and don't feel like they don't need to come with the same energy anymore, or they show their true selves. Because some people's natures or personalities or characters are very, I'm gonna say, unattractive. And I think some people know that. And what I mean by that is some people probably already know they come off as a very mean, egotistical asshole. Some people probably already know that, but they know they're not going to get no female like that. So they probably, put on a little performance. I've been telling y'all that people like to be performative so they can get the female. And then the layers unfold. But we're going to get into these stories.
Let's talk about why the man you're dating changed. Story time. When I was in my 20s, I dated a guy. Let's call him Chad. And Chad was kind, well-spoken, and empathetic. And I really thought after the first few dates that I had met my match. See, Chad was the kind of guy who would text me good morning every morning and check in with me throughout the day unprompted. Maybe sometimes a little bit too much, but wasn't it so nice to finally stop wondering? And then after about 6 months, Chad started texting less and less, and I started wondering more and more what the freak was going on. Because what had started out like a surefire route to marriage started to seem more like a dumpster fire of uncertainty, where every Wednesday felt like my personal date with anxiety, wondering whether or not he was going to make plans with me for the weekend. What had changed? Why had Chad changed? See, biddies, what I didn't realize was that the first 6 months of the relationship, you're not meeting a man, you're meeting the representative of the man. Chad didn't change, he just finally started to show me who he really was. And who he was at best was a man who was just not that interested in me, but didn't have the balls to tell me. And at worst, an unreliable, overgrown man-child who didn't know who or what he wanted in his life. And so if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it'd be this. Be wary of the man who is all in all too soon, because he hasn't had enough time to fall in love with who you truly are. He's only fallen in love with his fantasy of you. And trust me, who you are deserves someone who only falls deeper in love with you over time, instead of a man whose fantasy of you doesn't exist anywhere but his own damn mind. Ooh, I'm a freaking poet! Because at the end of the day, a secure man knows that building a reality with you is 100 times better than living in any fantasy.
Years ago.
That is true. That is true. Some people just like the aesthetic of you. They like the appeal, the appearance you have. They fantasize about it. They become very imaginative of it. And then they start to get to know the real you. And if it doesn't match their fantasy, they start feeling you a lot less. It's true. Because we humans, when we see somebody, we don't really see somebody's character. We don't see a person. We physically see somebody. You hear me? Like characters and personality, that's more of like an internal trait. We see external immediately. You feel me? So a lot of people might end up fantasizing about that, especially if you're a conventionally attractive person. That might be something you probably go through a lot. And then they get to know you. It's like, oh, this is not what I envisioned. But I wouldn't recommend anybody think like that, because we all know people are a lot more than appearance. You yourself are a lot more than your appearance. You are a lot more than what you think. Nobody's defined to that. So I don't know what people are doing.
I entered the most harmful situationship that I have ever partaken in. It lasted for almost 2 years. I would say consistently a year and a half. I would say the whole situationship had about 3 phases. Today, we're going to talk about one story in particular from phase 1. So, I start seeing this guy 3 years ago. Situationship takes its typical course. We go on consistent dates every single week. We're talking all the time, hanging out, blah, blah, blah. We get to about the 3-month mark. Things start to get weird. There was this one week in particular where after he stayed the weekend at my house, after he had gone on like this month-long vacation, he texted me after he went home and he was like, hey, like, are you sick?
I'm not even gonna lie, as a female, if you're not dating, like you're not in a relationship with the person, don't give them the address to your house. I'm just gonna say that.
At all? I was like, no, I'm fine. Why? He was like, I'm
Right, we missed the
like, are
question.
you sick at all? I was like, no, I'm fine. Why? He was like, I'm like dying. So he claimed to be dying sick of like some terrible cold. So I'm like, okay. And I obviously feel bad. And he's like talking about how bad his fever is and how bad he's feeling. So for about a week, he keeps this act up. Like all week, I'm literally texting him every single day. I had like a pretty strict no texting first rule. Like I always kind of made him text me first, but like that week I was like, oh, he's not feeling good. Like I'm going to text him and like check on him. And at one point that week, I even ran to Target, bought him like, I think it was like almost $100 worth of like stuff to make him feel better, like cough drop medicine. I bought him like a neti pot, like random shit. I even ran over to K-Town and bought him noodles that I thought would be good to eat when you're sick. I texted him like, hey, I'm gonna come over and like take care of you, like blah, 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 I have some stuff for you. He was like, no, 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 like don't come over, don't come over, like I'm not gonna get you sick. I was like, okay, well, I don't want him to think that like I'm just doing this as a ploy to like try to see him. So I'm just gonna drop it off at his lobby and let him know that it's there so he can come downstairs and like pick it up. So I dropped it off. I texted him and I was like, hey, I dropped it off at your lobby. Like just come down when you get it or come get it when you can. He texts me a few minutes later and he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Blah, blah.
I can already predict there's another trick. Let's hear it.
You don't have to do that. You should have texted me. I would have let you in. So whatever. Then we have a conversation and he's like, hey, well, the doctor cleared me for like X date. And it was like, that day was like, that night was a Wednesday when I was dropping this stuff off. And he was like, I think I'm clear on Sunday. So do you want to hang out? I was like, yeah. Rest of the week goes by. I'm still checking in on him, blah, blah, blah. Like Sunday approaches and I'm getting excited to see him, obviously, because I hadn't seen him in like a week. That Sunday morning rolls around and I don't know what got into me, but like I just had this really weird feeling in my gut.
It's another trick.
And this is very not like me, but I texted him in the morning. Like, first of all, I texted him first. Second of all, I texted him in the morning. It was like 9 o'clock. And it was just like random. Like, I was like, hey, like, good morning. I just felt the need to text him for some reason. Like, I felt so weird. And I didn't hear from him. He never took like maybe more than like an hour to text me back, like max. And it had been like a couple hours and like I was so fucking anxious about it that I like went on a whole hike, just to like try to get my mind off of it. He ends up texting me around, I think it was like 1 or 2 that afternoon. Okay. So that's like 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5 hours pass by until he responds. When he responds, it's like something so nonchalant, like super short. And he's like, hey, like, just he was acting weird. And so I mentioned to him like, hey, like we were supposed to hang out tonight, like something like that. And he was like, oh, hey, actually, like I'm grabbing dinner out in Malibu tonight, like can we hang out some other time?
He has another chick. And you know what's so crazy? The person that texts you back within an hour can still do you dirty. Isn't that crazy? Because we be tight when somebody has to reply to us 4, 5, 6 hours. Man, the person who even replies to you within the hour could still do you dirty. But this is a learning lesson for everybody. Because we don't be cutting people enough slack because they take too long to text. They probably really into you. Just got other stuff going on. Some people do be BSing, but that's not everybody. I wouldn't throw everybody in that category. But even the person who's texting you back super fast, trying to link up with you every week, ends up being on some BS. It's crazy. But you know what though? Because a lot of times at first somebody is like all in, and then they start realizing they not that as interested as in the person as they thought they was. So they try and like distance themselves, like give this person more space, fade off. People, we call that the hints. Those are the subtle hints. Or like they hit you with the one word responses. They're not texting you as much. They either not as interested or they got something else going on. And whether that other thing going on is like some emergency stuff or another chick, another dude, who knows? But that happens. We all gotta understand that comes apart with dating though. People don't get that. Yes, in a perfect world, every person you meet, y'all feel the same way, y'all feel the same vibe. Like either y'all both are interested or y'all both not. In a perfect world, that will exist. But no, sometimes you think you're interested and then you realize you're not. And even vice versa. Some people don't be jacking somebody, and as time went on, I can't feel them. It be like that.
The only time he had ever mentioned Malibu was when he was talking about his ex because that's where she's from. And I should have provided this as context. Before we entered into our situationship relationship, the first words within the first 10 minutes of our date, he was talking shit about his ex, so he clearly was not over his ex. They had just broken up apparently like 4 months prior. So anyways, back to the Sunday. So he tells me like, hey, I'm grabbing dinner in Malibu. I instantly go into that mode and I pick up my phone and I fucking call his ass. I called him and I was clearly on speaker and I heard like his like gear shift, like he was parking his car. And I was like, are you going to have dinner with your ex in Malibu? He paused like it was silent. And he was like, yeah, like, how did you know? Or something like that. Like he acted like I was stupid. So my tone changed instantly. I had never spoken to him like that before. I was very, very cold. I was very stern. And I said, when you're done with your dinner, you're going to call me and let me know when you're home and I'm coming over. So in between the few hours of that phone call and me going over to see him, I'm fully preparing, like fully talking to myself in the mirror, like fully preparing to break up with this guy that I had been seeing for like 3-4 months at that.
I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not the if you with a man or you with a woman, and let's say they like a baby mom and baby father, if they don't talk about them, that's a green flag. If just because they talking trash about their ex or their baby mom or their baby father, that doesn't mean the feelings aren't there. Feelings of hate, feeling of bitterness, feelings of jealousy, whatever the case may be, that's still a feeling for their ex. That's still a feeling. There's a thin line between love and hate. A green flag if they don't talk about them at all. Or they be like, oh yeah, like the relationship like is cool, or like I'm good off that. Like they don't ever bring them up, whether it's like peaceful or something hateful. Gotta be careful with that.
And I got super ready. Like I did a full beat on my face. I like made sure that I was looking good, made sure that my outfit was going to be cute for the last time I was ever going to see this guy. I even like visited a friend in between just to go like talk to her and like because I was just like feeling so shitty and so pissed off and just like totally vented to her. Anyways, so fast forward to him texting me like, hey, I'm home. Can you come over? Like, I'm pretty tired or like just some bullshit. So then I drive my ass over there. I greet him at his like door where he would come down to the lobby and like greet me and like let me in. I don't speak to him the entire way up to his apartment. And that night we had a full conversation and I'm very, very, very embarrassed to admit this, but basically he did manipulate me into staying with him. So I stayed. And then the following week after that, he started acting weird again. We hung out one more time after that. And that hangout, instantly, upon seeing him, the next hangout, his vibe was so off and it was so just like, he seemed super annoyed that I was there. Like, he just, like, seemed like he could not fucking care less if I were, like, fucking alive. Of course, he was a master at this, like, total gaslighter. Like, I remember him specifically saying, listen, if you're gonna act like this, I don't want to do this. This isn't fun for me, and it isn't fun for you. Or, like, some stupid shit like that. So I'm, like, at the time, I was super, super.
You see, like, why didn't he just let her go when she was willing to go? Offer next week to be like, to try to like flip it on her and everything. That doesn't even make no sense. Be real.
Anxious attached, and I was like just freaking out internally. So I was like, okay. And I was very submissive towards him when he like got like that towards me. So I just like completely shut down and like did not have like the nerve to like stand up for myself and like say like, just tell him to fuck off. Needless to say, after that, he was very aggressive that entire hangout. Like, he was like eating dinner in front of me, like didn't even ask me if I was hungry, didn't ask me if I wanted anything. Like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, totally bad, terrible hangout. The week following that, we like barely talked, and it was really weird. Like, the vibe was just weird. I asked to talk to him, and he was like, didn't we just talk? And then basically, like, a few days after that, I'm like, hey, like, do you want to see me? And I realize this is very pathetic. I'm being honest with you guys. Then he feeds me a whole line about how like he hasn't been feeling like himself, and he's been so down, and like he just needs some space, and like blah, 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 blah. So basically at that moment in time, I was like, forget it, I'm done. And I dropped him. For the following month after that, I, worked on myself, and I was like, you know what? I didn't get in too deep. Like, it's okay. I'm just gonna go out there and start dating.
Now that's a fact. When you leave a relationship, I do be saying like, at least you ain't get pregnant, or at least you ain't get her pregnant. You're not tied for this person for life. I'm sorry. I know that sounds. I don't even think that sounds crazy. I don't think that sounds crazy because it's true. It's a lot more complicated when you have a kid with somebody, because you can't just exit their life and never see them again, never speak to them again. You are now forced to have this person in your life because y'all have a kid together. So walking away with no pregnancy is a win. Like, I'm not even playing.
So I actually did, and I started to talk to somebody else who was super nice, super into me, like super cute, like whatever. And also around the same time, like other exes started like texting me again. Not that I was like entertaining them, but it was just like weird how like other men were like coming into my life. And again, a month after I started seeing this situationship man, one day I'm on like a conference call for work, and I look over at my phone and I see his number pop up. Obviously he wasn't saved anymore at this point, but I did know his number, and I like was shocked, and I was like, why is he texting me? Crazy. So I only have a few more minutes to tell the story, but basically he totally was sucking up to me, like just totally acting like nothing happened, acting like he was missing me, like literally begging me to hang out, because he was like, can we hang out tonight? And I was like, I have plans. He was like, can we hang out tomorrow? And I was like, nope, I have plans. I actually had a date. I actually had several dates. So I completely ran out of time, but basically the moral of the story is that yes, absolutely, when they are acting weird, they're 100% talking to another girl or their ex, and that when they run back to you, it's because it didn't work out. So stay safe.
Crazy.
You just watch a few real stories from women describing moments when a man's behavior toward them changed suddenly. No argument, no big fallout, just a shift. And in many of these situations, that shift happened when attraction, or the loss of it, entered the picture. This video isn't about saying all men do this or turning it into a battle between genders. It's about looking at a pattern many women quietly notice while dating.
Not heavy on that. This is not no gender war. Like, who better, who worse. Like, this is just acknowledging what be going on in the dating world.
Relationships, or even in everyday social situations. The moment a man's energy changes once he decides a woman is or isn't someone he's attracted to.
We're going to get into the other stories. Thank you, Eticiono. I don't know if I pronounced that right for the video, but here we're going to skip to the next story.
Treating someone differently.
He ghosted me, and I feel really sad about it, and I want to know why, but he won't tell me, so I'll never know. That's it. That's the script. Whatever it is, the script is always going to be, I feel really sad that this person did that to me, and there's nothing I can do about it. And that's just it. Radical acceptance. You just accept what happens. I think I see a lot of the advice on here being very like, you can't let somebody else's behavior affect you, and that's a sign of their insecurity and their immaturity. It has nothing to do with you. And yes, that's all good, but that's like level 3 awareness, right? If we're like crash out level, this person's not texting me back and is making me shake, you cannot jump up to their behaviors don't affect me. You gotta get there. The first
I
step
hear that.
is recognizing and accepting your sadness as a very human reaction. I don't care if y'all were talking for a day. It is disappointing to have an expectation that another person was feeding into be ripped away out of nowhere. That's dysregulating. That doesn't feel good, right? And so you're allowed to be sad about it. You sit with the sadness. Don't dwell on it. Once it passes, watch you not even care no more.
That has definitely happened to me. Like, I don't know how many times. I know at least once. It's crazy. Like, even the last girl was saying, like, we was on track to, like, get... Well, I don't know about that, because they weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know if they were on track to marriage, but... Yeah, like somebody you be talking to somebody and they be like, I'm gonna see you, I'm so excited I met you, da 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 da. Like y'all think on the same page, and then boom, they don't hit you no more. It's crazy. I don't until this day. I guess we'll never know. I guess I'll never know. Well, at least I know one guy did that. I can't remember if this has happened multiple times. But that's the thing with dating. I don't get too mad because okay, I never done that. I never 100% ghosted somebody unless they were giving me signs that, okay, like, they not really that interested. Because there was this other dude who was just, I don't understand, like, why, like, you be into somebody. Okay, let's say you're not into them anymore. Like, why are you treating them poorly? That'd be weird. That'd be super weird. Like, like, they a nuisance or something. Like, do you not understand the dynamic of what was going on, bro? Y'all was getting to know each other, talking to each other, talking about we gonna see each other, and just because you're not interested anymore, you're gonna treat another person like they scum. That's weird, and that says a lot about your character. A lot. Okay, like so I know it's awkward to have a conversation. I know I trust me. I know because I've been on both ends. That's the thing with dating. Well, depending on who you are, everybody got a different experience. But I've been on both ends. I've been in a position where like I want to start ghosting somebody, or not ghosting, but start distancing myself from somebody so they get the message. And I've been on the other end, like somebody probably has done the same to me, and hoping I get the message. So I've been on both sides. I can't even lie. I've been on both sides, but I no, for at least for me personally, I never started treating somebody poorly. I think I start treating somebody poorly if they don't get it. Because there's with some people, I have to be very direct with, like, hey, like, this is not gonna happen, and they still like try and make it happen after I said no. I don't like that because I just told you no. You see, what does that sound like? You know, that sounds crazy, right? So I don't be liking that, but we don't have to treat people poorly because we're not interested in them no more.
Then we could get to his behavior doesn't affect me, and then you don't even care when it happens. You don't even have to sit with no sadness. You just roll your eyes and keep it pushing. But step 1 is definitely the acceptance that you are a human and you are allowed to feel sadness. You're gonna feel allowed. You're gonna feel sadness no matter what, and that's fine. Sit with it, process it, and you'll be fine.
After I lost 140 pounds, the DMs that I started getting from people that I used to know, used to talk to, never gave me the time of day, increased drastically. But the funniest part about it, it wasn't the fact that I was receiving DMs from all of these guys. It was the fact that they all lied to me. And they all said shit along the lines of, I always thought you were attractive. Like, no, you didn't. There's a reason you never showed any sort of interest in me before I lost the weight, okay? You never thought I was attractive when I was overweight. I understand that to most people...
Okay, hot take. I don't feel like you can get mad at somebody for that. I don't feel like you can. Because it's true, if you was like 300 pounds and then all of a sudden you 150, 140, 160, you kind of become somebody else's type now. Because it's true. Let's say like everything about you is my type, but the 300 pounds is not doing it. When you lose that weight, you kind of become somebody's type. That's true. That's true. And you can't get mad at them for that. Because it's like, you didn't like me for me. But you're denying the fact that you yourself don't like certain appearances. I don't think that's crazy. And I get it. I can understand how somebody feels by that. Like, oh, before when I was like this, you had no interest in me, and I'm like this. When it comes to weight, I know there's other things like, oh, I was poor and now I got money and da-da-da. That's a different conversation. But when it comes to weight, it's understandable. It's the same thing how like if I was a certain body frame when you met me and then all of a sudden I gained 200 pounds, why would I expect you to have the same exact attraction? I'm just keeping it real. I'm not saying you won't have any attraction, but I don't think I should put the expectation it should be the exact same because I don't even look the exact same. I'm just saying.
A conventionally fit physique is more attractive than somebody that is overweight. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. That's fine. But why are they all lying? That's the part that really got me. And this has nothing to do with my husband, for the record. He was not one of these people. I met him long after. But it just goes to show another example of how much value people put on your body and how big you are, how small you are, how fit you are. As a fit, skinny person, you hold more value in society just because that's how society works. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay to treat people differently based on their body sizes, but it happens.
Y'all can't get butthurt because I'm talking.
Okay, I don't think you should treat somebody poorly. Like I just previously said, you shouldn't treat somebody poorly because they fat. Now, that's just like a lack of human decency. But I understand if you're not attracted to them. Same way. And there's some people who are into fatter people. And there's some people who are into skinnier people. Like, everybody got their thing.
My own personal experience, okay? But the second I lost the weight, the way I got treated by men was so insanely different and genuinely made me realize why it is so important in today's society to look a certain way if you want to be treated a certain way. And as shallow and as terrible as that sounds, that is literally just how it is. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm not saying that people should act like that because I think that's absolutely disgusting. I think it's terrible. And it honestly does really ick me out whenever I see guys that are trying to go for me now that I've lost a bunch of weight. And now that I'm skinnier, they are interested in me now. And they never gave me the time of day when I gained or had a few more pounds on me. But I'm just letting you guys know it does make a huge difference. Even like the kind of guys that approach me now, the kind of guys that want to take me out.
It's not weight, it's human nature. I've talked about this already. Like, if you are more conventionally attractive, the world does treat you better. I remember you were learning this in class one time. It said something like an unattractive person and an attractive person can do the same action and people will be more forgiving of the attractive person. Because I don't know, they look better. And when you look good, people think it's a subconscious thing. I don't think it's a conscious thing. Like, people subconsciously think you are a good person, so they're more welcoming towards you. They're more friendly towards you, as opposed to you're unattractive. You don't look good. So people might associate you with like bad traits, for example. It's life. That's how we're wired, unfortunately.
I've realized a lot more guys with money want to take me out now ever since I got really skinny. I always thought that was a lie, and like whenever I saw people talk about like, oh, guys don't want the curvy BBL, blah, 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 I would get so mad and I would get so triggered because I would be like, this is bullshit. Like, I hate that people say this. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon and be like, curves, BBL. But I'm telling you guys, these men with money want a stick skinny girl. And as weird as it is, and I'm not saying do it just because of that, but I'm letting you know it's true.
Can we just talk about how men are weird as fuck for 1 second? So I have a guy friend. We've been friends for about a year. We started off kind of talking, but it didn't go anywhere, so we were just like platonic. Recently, he told me that he wanted to like possibly start dating me. So that was a whole thing in itself. But anyways, he gets gigs with a lot of people, and he is a big networker. So he found out that I have been doing UGC, like I told you guys. So I've been doing like voiceovers, acting, and getting gigs on Upwork. He was like, hey, I have a client that right now that's looking for a voiceover actress. If you would be down, I could connect you. I was like, okay. He was like, well, come over, we can record it tonight, and get it going for the audition. So I go over to his place. I'm like, oh, when are we going to record? And he's like, during dinner, when I'm making dinner. So he's making dinner and like drinking wine and everything. And I'm like, are we gonna do this? But we never do. Because we're friends, we're just chilling. And then he's like, oh, we should go get a drink somewhere. Like, are you down? So I was like, okay. I normally don't go out on a Wednesday, but I was just like, sure, why not? Go for a drink. And so I'm tired, right? It's already 10:30. I'm usually in bed and asleep by 10:30. And he's like, all right, you ready to do the voiceover now? And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm tired. I literally have been drinking. I'm a little sleepy, a little buzzy. No, I don't want to do the voiceover. And his whole vibe changes. He completely is like, wow, seriously? I was like, what? And mind you, when we were out at drinks, he was buying things, and he normally doesn't buy things for me. So the whole thing was just different, I guess. But then when he changed up his whole tone, he's like, seriously? Then I was like, are you mad at me? You never really clarified the time and place we were doing this. I was like, all right, anyways, I'm going to go. I'm tired. So I get my stuff out of his place. As I'm leaving, he literally tells me, and this is a friend. I've been friends with him for a while. He goes, you struck out with me tonight. I was like, I'm sorry.
Okay, he's a bad bitch. He is a bad bitch. What man is... Nah, bro, what? And it's not like she even did anything crazy. She said no to the voiceover for that night. She could have did it the next day. Man, that's a male baddie for you, bro.
What? I was
That's
like, you're acting like a complete asshole. It's very much so mutual, babe. And I just walk out, and he's like, okay, well, text me when you get home. I'm like, I'm good. You're not gonna treat me like that. Who says shit like that? I struck out.
Yo, men are weird. Sometimes. Sorry, for my male viewers, my bad. Like, but y'all gotta know, some of y'all are weird. Something like, some females are weird, okay? But like, that, what? I don't understand. That happened to me in high school, bro. Something like that happened to me in high school, because this dude, I never been on a date before. Like, yeah, I was 18. I still haven't been on a date yet. Yeah, like we go out somewhere. So I was talking to this older guy. I can't even lie. He was in his 30s or anything like that. But I was talking to this older guy, and he was trying to meet up somewhere. But the low was super weird. He was the name of the place was Pizza Italian. I was like, what the fuck? What? That sounded so made up. And then he sent me the Addy. It was to like an apartment complex. I was like, the fuck? Like, I don't even see it. Like, fool. I was questioning him, like, bro, like, this is an apartment complex, like, Pizza Italian. I never heard of no Pizza Italian. So I was mad paranoid. I don't want my first date to be, like, with a weirdo. You feel me? So, like, he goes off of me. He was like, I'm not even on that shit. You weird as fuck. Da-da-da-da. Next day, he texts me, or, like, the next day, he's like, hey, baby. Like, okay, bro. Like, all right. Like, I don't understand it.
You, like, what? Like, men are weird. Men are weird. Men are weird is the moral of the story.
You guys ever had the experience of a guy showing up in your life and them pursuing you to the fullest extent, and then once you like them, it's like they know that you like them, and so they get satisfaction from knowing that you like them and then them leaving you or like ghosting you. And I feel like that this has happened a decent amount in my life where I sincerely was not interested in somebody, and somebody came up to me and approached me, and they were like, hey, I would really love to get your number. I'd really love to take you out sometime. Text me the next day, and then for the next few weeks, they take me out on several dates, and it gets to the point where we're talking for several months, and, we plan a trip together. We do the trip, switch flips, and that guy, like, I've kind of already been on this roller coaster ride, and it's the same roller coaster ride, and I kind of want to get off the ride now. And I know that I'm not the only person that this has happened to by any means. I recognize that. As you get older, you just start to realize that some people do really just have satisfaction with like humbling people or putting people in like a vulnerable position.
It's a boost to somebody's self-esteem, bro. I swear it is. It's weird. And we shouldn't even be getting a boost from our self-esteem from an external force anyways. Like, you gotta know you him, you her, without all this wish-wash going on.
When I was younger, I'd get so upset. But now it's like as an adult, I just don't really give a shit. Like, you either want to show up or you don't. I'm not playing this sick and twisted game of one day you want me, one day you don't. I know I'm rambling. I'm just curious, like, has this happened to anybody else?
After watching all these stories, one thing becomes clear. For many women, the change in a man's behavior isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, a shift in tone, less patience, less
Yes.
warmth, less
Yes.
effort.
Yes.
And often it happens the moment attraction changes or disappears.
Yes, because that's weird if that happens and nothing major is even going on in the relationship. Because I get it if they genuinely did something to piss you off, like they showed up an hour late today, or they said like a nasty comment or whatever. I can understand that, but like for nothing to be occurring and then all of a sudden there's this shift, there's something going on inside. Like,
Again, this isn't about saying every man does this. It's about acknowledging an experience a lot of women recognize, but don't always talk about openly. Because when you notice someone treating you differently based on how desirable they see you, it can make you question things your confidence, your value, even the way you show up.
nah,
But
for
here is
real.
the important part. How someone treats you based on attraction says more about their mindset than your worth. If this is something you've experienced, you are not alone. And if this video made you reflect on your own behavior too, that self awareness matters.
That's good. I hope y'all was able to self-reflect on this video and learn something. And I'm gonna hold you. If you made it this far, you might as well leave the sub. Hope small creators turning big. You feel me? So thank you for tapping in. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Check out my Instagrams, TikTok, Patreon, and my other channel. It's my mindset channel.